Hello and welcome everyone to Tales from the Dewdrop. I am your host and facilitator, Natalie Putum from Charm Person Games. And tonight we have another lovely, relaxing show of Tales from the Dewdrop for you. I'm really excited for the setting we're visiting this week. But before we get started, let's meet our players and hear who they're going to be playing tonight. Let's start with Tiff. Tiff, tell us who you are and who you're going to be playing.
Hello, my name is Tiff. I'm your friendly neighborhood bear. Today I will be playing Miss Esther Duwanda, and I'm so excited to be back after the break and ready to play.
All right, and Vic.
Good evening, guys. I'm Victor. I use he and they pronouns, and I'll be playing Geronimo tonight, who is the fool, who also uses he and they pronouns, and he is a Mukuchi, which is a Venezuelan sheepdog.
All right, and Angela.
Hello there, lovelies. Absolute pleasure to have you back here with us after unforeseen break happening. My name is Angela Musmorovejo. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I'm going to be playing Amelia Ashhart, who is a lovely little owl lady who is just a bit of a caretaker for lost, forgotten, and small gods of small little concepts and such. So she's just here to be nice, be sweet, and be affirming to folks with a little bit of magic tossed on. And last but not least, let's throw it over to Natalie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie Putum, and tonight I will be playing Scout. Scout is a gecko ragamuffin who is just here to go on adventures and have fun. And of course, tonight we are missing our fifth cast member, VJ, who's usually playing Professor Juniper. Sadly, she is not feeling well today, but you should follow her over on Twitter. All right. So we open. It is the month of Gatling. The days are warm, but the nights are cold. And unfortunately, the sickness that has been going around our group has spread to another member of our party. Um, and we have decided to camp down in a place I don't think Scout likes being very much. I think she's putting on a brave face and pretending to be brave and tough. But we are in a castle graveyard we have pulled up. There's not much business for the dewdrop here. In fact, there's not much of anyone around. Just an old owl who comes out and tends the graves. And yeah. So what is everyone doing? This gatling, I'm going to say it's evening. How do we feel about that?
That sounds good.
Cool.
Well, to start with, Miss Sester has made sure that everyone has had a shot of health boosting medicine so that we can maybe stop this from making it another complete circuit around everyone, get that out of the way. But mainly she is intensely curious about what might be sitting in those ruins, because you never know, you might find a bit of trash that you can make into treasure. Why not take the opportunity?
What about
So,
him? Oh.
who's up for an expedition?
Away from here?
Well, away from here and closer to there. And she points over toward the castle.
Uh,
I think Amelia kind of chimes in at this point. Uh, she normally has a relatively calm, easygoing expression. Face that often reads very gentle, but I think she seems a little bit more morose now, but trying to kind of hide it. Not very well, but trying to hide it. And is just like putting a feathered hand down on Scout's shoulder and sort of like, "Are you afraid?"
I'm gonna do the weak move and speak my true feelings on a subject. And Scout's just gonna like, yes, I'm afraid. I'm so scared. The castle is so scary. It's the only thing scarier than this graveyard is that castle.
Mm. Well, I can tell you that some fear is good. Some fear is what helps you to survive in places that might be difficult otherwise. But on the other hand, if you can scrounge up just a little tiny bit of courage, you might discover some things that you would miss out on otherwise. That could be good.
Right. Yeah, that would be fine. I definitely, yeah.
But of course, if you don't want to go, and she's going to get down to Scout's level, so they're looking each other in the eye. If you really don't want to go, no one is ever going to force you to do something that you honestly, truly do not want to do. And I won't pressure you into pretending that you want to go along with something that everyone else is doing. But I will leave it up to you, and I will completely respect your decision. Okay?
I mean, I really want to go because I'm very brave, but Knack is scared, right? Right, Knack? And she's gonna pull the little god out of her pocket.
Oh dear.
And I can't leave
Geronimo.
Knack here alone.
That's true. Geronimo.
Geronimo has been like at the edge of wherever they have set up camp, moping. Geronimo is very, very sad that he got Josie sick, and is just has been sort of like morose and just feeling like. And so when Miss Esther like calls his name, he looks like a little like confused, like drawn out of his thoughts, and is just like, yes, Miss Esther.
Geronimo, do you have any ideas of what we could do to make sure that this tiny little one, and she points toward the small god, although she's sort of making eyes at Scouts, what can we do to make them less afraid? Do you have any ideas?
Oh, what's Knock afraid of, Scout?
Um, the sound the trees make, and the sounds we keep hearing. There's like a scary trumpet noise in there, and that I hear at night. And I think I saw something.
Yeah.
Would it make you feel better if I gave you something to block out some of the noise?
But then what if something gets me?
Well, you'd be
You can-
right here with Geronimo.
I mean,
He's
I have
the
an idea.
bravest one among us.
Listen, I know. And Geronimo like sort of puffs up his chest, and like some energy is coming back to him. And he's like, on Scout, I grew up in a place like this. Do you want to know? Do you want to know my secret?
What?
If the noises scare you, you make scary noises back. You scare them.
An excellent point, Geronimo. Excellent point.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and Geronimo stands up, and like he walks over to Scout and offers his hand.
Yeah,
And,
Scout takes it.
and is like, all right, so that tree, the wind in it, it's making weird sound. So we're gonna go rah, and he makes the loudest, like roaring, like noise that like Scout has ever heard from Geronimo, because like he's very, he's very lax, he's very easygoing.
And I think just like right back, Scout's gonna go rah.
And I think when the wind shakes the tree, Geronimo like points like, look, we scared it. See, now it knows what it's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I can do this. Hold on, let me go get ready.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Scout goes running into the dewdrop.
And Geronimo just sort of like scratches at the front of his head, like,
Well, that's one person taken care of. Now, how do we help you two mopey mugs?
make Josie not sick, and make it not be my fault.
Okay. A tall order, but I'll see what I can do. Do you really think it's your fault entirely?
They went to the waterfall with me, and instead of just letting the waterfall be like it was, I opened the waterfall back up, and then they got soaked to the bone. And then I made them run around, and we played, even though I was sick, and I like was close by when I was sick, and she got sick.
Mm.
So yeah, kind of feels like my fault.
Understandable. But on the other hand, she could have chosen to come back and get warm right away, could she not?
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but we were
So
playing.
yes, and sometimes wisdom is knowing when to play and when to be a little bit more responsible. So while you may have given her a few of your germs, you are not entirely responsible for her health and well-being. Understand? Don't give me the pouty face.
I
Yes,
understand,
Miss Esther. There you go. All right, Miss Ma'am. And how about you? What can we do for you?
This place brings back a lot of different things for me.
I'm guessing
Does it
not
now?
so much. Oh,
Oh,
And I
dear.
think just behind you is the creepy graveyard keeper you guys have seen around a
oh,
lot.
oh, okay. I need people to not sneak up on me like that. That is not good for my blood pressure at all. Sorry. Hello.
I think
Welcome to the Dewdrop. Can we help you?
Amelia doesn't turn around, begins to just speak very plainly as like, among the reasons this place brings up a lot for me is my ex is here.
Oh.
Slowly body pivots the way
Is it a body pivot or an owl head pivot?
It was originally going to be a body pivot, but I'm making it the owl head pivot because I've almost forgot that I can do that. And now that I remembered, it's just full. Is it my ex?
It is, yeah. Standing there with like
Dun, dun.
you know, like some like lawn care tools. Amelia.
Oleander.
Geronimo.
Miss Esther, do we how about Geronimo? Why don't we just give them a few minutes of privacy? Yeah. Don't you? And she just gently puts a hand, not pushing him, just puts a hand on Geronimo's shoulder, and that sort of like genteel, like we're gonna mind our business for like 5 minutes. Come on now, let go.
But
We're
I'm
just gonna.
nosy, Miss Esther, and I want to hear.
I completely understand. Believe me, I do. But we're going to be respectful just this one time. We're going to scoot. Come on, scoot,
Fine.
scoot.
How far away are you from Amelia as you're having this conversation? I have to ask.
Oh, Geronimo says that in complete, like you can hear Geronimo say that.
The only time Amelia that you've ever known her moves the walking stick and it's like a poke to the shoulder. The moment you're like, but I'm nosy and I want to know, she's like, poke.
I'm going, Miss Amelia. I'm going.
Okay. Yeah, but you can help me pick out a good luck charm for Scout while we go in. We'll be inside. And you just, if you need anything, Amelia, you need anything, you call me. And
Oh.
you have a day. Okay. And she scoots over to the dewdrop.
You don't
It's
even
like-
know if he's bad. Like, why you have a day? He could have a nice day.
Sweetie, when it comes to an ex, I don't take sides if I don't know the whole story. So you have the day you deserve. You understand? Okay.
Gotcha.
Right.
Is
And
this
now
not because you like Miss Amelia a little bit?
that's grown folks' business.
I'm grown.
Okay.
This is the conversation they're having as they walk away.
away.
Yeah.
there's just like a very big delay in her actually turning her head all the way around to see Oleander again, because she's like been looking at you, and like the normally like big bluish kind of coloration to her plumage has gone the faintest bit red at the mention of like, and this is not because you like Miss Amelia, and she's just like
I think Oleander is like in like a little bit of a threadbare like tweed vest and like a newsboy like cap.
you can't make a gravekeeper this adorable.
I'm too queer for this. I'm sorry.
They light a pipe.
Pipe. Is it
I thought you would come say hi when you came to visit.
I was getting around to it. I didn't want to rush things.
It's good to have you back in Creations in Bloom. This place has missed you.
I gathered as much, and I think she actually sees at different points there's vines that have grown over whatever bits of landmarks that have been here before, and I think she can actually see almost like twinkles of little lights just dotting along all the vines, but the vines seem to be actually moving towards her, almost like they're trying to say hello. But also because it's a graveyard, it's only mildly disconcerting.
Yep.
I can add something to this. There's like kind of like a wind blowing where you can hear like almost a voice on the wind. That's almost like hello, but maybe something like why.
I feel like I just slightly short-circuited Tiff with that one.
Fine.
I think she's like tapping. Amelia's tapping the walking stick along each of the vines, like whenever she can, but she is pointedly avoiding Oleander's gaze. Like she is her tone is warm and cordial, but she is definitely avoiding her gaze.
They seem kind of like they got the nerve to get up here, and now they're like, oh, I have to do something with this. But they say, are you in a place to listen right now?
I am. It is nice to see you, Oleander, and I would love to chat with you if you are open to it.
Of course. Everyone else left not long after you did, so now it's just me here in Creations Bloom.
Would you take it as insincere or as me lying if I said that I really did miss you?
very kind of you to say. I've missed you greatly too. It seems I do a lot of missing these days.
What's on your mind? And she moves closer. Uh I think she has a sense of being I think the initial hesitation is wearing off and she's just moving close again the way that I think they used to be.
We I'm in this place where I'm the only one who remembers what it used to be. And as long as somebody remembers it, it still exists. But pretty soon, no one will remember this place, and no one will remember me or you. And it makes me wish I had gone with you all those years ago.
Regret is it's a tempting feeling to have. It leaves you wondering whether or not what could have been otherwise is better than what is, but we cannot dwell in that place. It's a place to take a sit, rest, and think and reflect, but it is not a place to live at. And I still remember how wonderful and happy you were before. I think you still deserve that happiness. You don't deserve to live in that place in the same way.
Thank you. It makes me happy you remember me fondly. I worried you cursed my name as the one who valued a plot of land over a person.
For clarification's sake, are they saying like Amelia valued a plot of land and
No,
cursed
that
Oleander's or Oleander?
that Oleander
Or
stayed rather than going with Amelia.
got you. Just want to make sure I respond correctly.
Yes.
Um, I think she takes a moment and this is something she pretty much has never done. Like does this once every like when her physical needs ask her to, but other than that, she never out of pure principle ever removes the altars that are on her back. And she actually takes it off of her back and sets it down on the ground. And she offers Oleander the chance to take a look at all of them.
Are there any that Oleander would remember
I
that he's
think
been carrying since this place?
I think actually Nadir, the god of a single shadow, and Dulcet. I think there was a duality to them that I think both of them were probably found when Oleander and Amelia were together, actually. I'd like to think they found them, and maybe that could have been part of the reason they separated, was that like she wanted to make sure more of these places. But I think she sets it down, she shows the two of them, and she also shows the others who've come to join them.
Yeah.
And she says, do you remember the day we found these two?
I do. That was a good day. You looked so beautiful.
And you were as you ever were wonderful. But I didn't want to see with how lovely these two alone were. It made me think more of them had to be out there. More of them were probably alone or being forgotten by people. And it's such a terrible thing to think that people only matter while they live. They don't. And what they leave behind lasts far beyond them, far out of their control. And while that's terrifying, it's also really, it's beautiful, don't you think? What you do with sticking around and taking care of this place, this is beautiful.
Yes,
It's not pretty the way most people think of it, but it's beautiful.
it is. Speaking of which, I need your help, or if you're not, well, we're both not as young as we used to be. Perhaps the people you travel with help. There's a interloper in the castle. I stay out of it now. Too many of the stairwells have collapsed and fallen to rot. I would hurt myself and no one would find me, but I worry that they may disturb something in there that they shouldn't.
Why don't I go see about getting our brave one to go investigate, and Miss Esther to see if she can handle some business.
Absolutely.
She takes off one of the things that's a common aspect of to the look for Amelia is that she has this faded shawl. You can kind of see it in her artwork, just kind of covering like, around her neck and such. And she takes it off and she hands it over to Oleander.
They wrap themselves in it and kind of slightly smell it, like you can see that they, and smile and say, well, I still need to lay some flowers for Liliana, so always work to do. But it's good seeing you, Amelia. Stop by before you leave.
Of course. Why would you ever just look at something wonderful once?
He smiles and kind of walks off under the shawl.
There's such a calm moment, I think, right after that. Just a sense of letting herself breathe and take in this place that I think she used to call home in a lot of ways. Or she like gets herself together and she starts walking over to go find Hieronimo and Miss Esther, who, while this was happening, what were they up to?
I think you hear some crashing in the dewdrop, by the way.
Oh no.
And Scout pops out with a pot on her head, like a helmet.
Hmm.
I'm ready.
Oh, I see you've gotten yourself a fine hat.
Yeah, don't worry. I used one of the good ones.
Did you now?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's a good plan. can I make an alternate suggestion that maybe, and she just sort of tilts it because I imagine like the pot is so much bigger than her head that it's obscuring her vision. So she just sort of tilts it back a bit. I think I have something that might help you a little bit more, and then you'll be able to see where you're going, okay? And she reaches up and starts shuffling through her cabinets and drawers. And well, okay, no, you're too young for that. No, here we go. And she picks up this sort of, it looks like a little bit like costume jewelry, made of like brass wire with this little tiger eye polished stone in the middle, and a pin back. And she's just going to pin that brooch right to Scout's shoulder. It's like, okay, now this is a good luck charm. But what it should do, especially, is help keep spirits away from you. So I think, and she takes her good pot off of her head and puts it over in the sink. There we go. Now, deep breath in. Hold it. We're going to let it out slowly. A little faster than that. There you go. There you go. All right. Are you feeling strong?
Yeah.
You feeling confident?
Uh-huh.
You feeling brave?
Yeah.
That's my little hero. All right. Give me a good handshake. And you're all set and ready to go. Make sure you keep that brooch on, okay?
You've
Don't.
got it.
And she again just looks Scout deeply in the eyes, like, I mean it. Don't take it off. If anyone or anything asks if they could see it or borrow it or just play with it for a little while, you're going to say what?
Only for a little bit. Sharing is good.
Sharing is good, but not this one. You're going to say no.
Okay.
You're going to say no, and you're going to be firm.
Got it.
Okay. It's very, very important because I want you to be safe, and this is going to help keep you safe.
Okay.
Okay. And don't use my pots as hats anymore, okay?
Right. I'll never do that anymore.
I appreciate that so very much. Okay. So.
Even when Geronimo and I are having headbutt fights.
I'm sorry, having what?
This child's gonna get me in trouble.
You know, when we try and headbutt each other to see who can headbutt harder, but Geronimo lets me wear a helmet sometimes because
sometimes. Well, then I'll tell you what. The next time you have headbutt fights, instead of aiming toward his head, you aim right for the tummy. That's the soft spot. Okay. And if you're wearing a helmet, make sure you run really fast before you run right in there. Okay.
Wow. I didn't know you were good at headbutt fights, Miss Esther. I should have invited you.
I am a little too old for headbutt fights at my age, but I can give you some pointers.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. But don't tell him you know a trick now. You got to save it for your next headbutt fight.
Got it.
I'm sure he'll be surprised.
Can you keep that secret, Knack? All right. We're good.
Okay. And then once that's done, Miss Esther is going to roll herself a cigarillo just coincidentally by one of the open windows that coincidentally sort of faces out, and she's not eavesdropping, she just happens to be doing something and it's right by an open window, so that's not her problem. It just happened the way it happened.
I think at that moment, Geronimo, who has not heard this conversation, just sort of pops up by the window and is like, hello, Miss Esther.
Hello, Geronimo. Just a quick question. Are you aware that Scout is very small?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scout's like my little sister.
Great. So we're not going to endanger her or put her in any kind of jeopardous situations where she could get a fractured skull, right?
Yeah. I would never. What?
I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure. Oh, before we do anything, how is everything going outside? Have you poked around?
No, you told me not to be nosy, so I've been specifically being unnosy. And then I saw you sort of head towards the window. I wanted to make sure that we were following our own rules.
Of course we are. I mean,
Yeah.
and she holds up. I have to, I'm not going to smoke in an enclosed space, and I'm going to give them their
Mhm,
space. So,
mhm.
and she takes a little cigarette thing, chops off the end. Be a dear and get me some matches, if you don't mind. I'll
Oh,
just be here.
you're in luck. And Geronimo just sort of like goes into like his like raggedy little cloak and pulls out like a little book of matches. And it has like a weird like gator man on it. And he flips it open and he's like, I got these from the docks. And I was, yeah, here you go.
This is useful. I won't ask questions. And she just lights up her cigarette.
I was thinking if we wanted to head into the ruins, since I can't be nosy, I was thinking of heading ahead and getting a look,
Okay.
making sure it's not too dangerous for Scout. Or yourself, Miss Esther. I know you can handle yourself, but
Well, I appreciate the fact that you thought about me. I don't mind if you do, but please take a few potions with you before you go.
okay. I grew up in a place like this, Miss Esther. It doesn't.
I understand that. I understand that. But that doesn't mean that I can't worry. And it doesn't mean I can't provide you with tools that are going to help you in what you're trying to do, right?
Okay.
Okay. And for the record, I understand that you are an adult now. And I don't mean to treat you as if you are childish, but it's a very hard habit to break for me. Because when I look at you, I see the scrawny little pup that came up to my cart back in the day. You are very much not a scrawny pup anymore. I'm
I
very
know.
proud of you, but please be gracious and allow me my worries from time to time.
Okay, Miss Esther.
Good boy. All right, go on and get those potions then. I'll just be here waiting for Amelia for whenever she comes back. And I am following my own rules. You leave me alone.
All right. Yeah, I'll just take my time and this place feels very close to home, so some time to walk it alone feels nice. And Geronimo leans in and gives Miss Esther a kiss on the cheek. Um,
And she gives him a pat on the head.
and then I think he takes like a couple of potions. Just I don't think he looks. I think he takes stuff at random because he believes in luck.
Really? Because I
Yes.
have a table, darling.
Oh, perfect.
Shall we roll?
Yeah. I think we should roll when he actually drinks one.
Perfect.
But I think he heads. I think he just takes them and he heads into the ruins. I think to sort of like this place feels weird to him. Like it feels very close to like the place where he grew up, and like he doesn't have a lot of memories about it, but like it just seems so strangely close to it that like he can't help but be drawn in to like what is left behind here. And whatever strange noises come up and draw him deeper into the ruin, into the castle.
I think as you start to approach and it's getting colder, more of that thick, unctuous fog starts to coat the ground. Not enough to impair your vision or anything, but you're definitely like sort of half wading through it. And tiny, mysterious little dim lights show up at the edges of your vision now and then, softly glowing and dimming, glowing and dimming.
And I think Geronimo is taking this time to sort of like, he is pointedly ignoring the lights. He's chosen this path that he's on, and I think every time that a light gets too close to actually being directly in his line of vision, he turns a little bit, as if sort of like almost like being shepherded somewhere. And I think he's following like these noises that he hears in the distance of like a strange quiet trumpeting and maybe some heavy movement ahead. You can't help but like look for.
Would someone else
one.
like to pick up Florence, or do you want me to?
Florence is our other bespectacled friend, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can pick up for Florence.
Okay.
Do we have the traits for
Yes, it is on the kith sheet in our book.
I believe it's like lost and adventurous.
Yes.
Lost and Adventurous? Wait, Natalie, where among our sheets are they?
The kith sheet. It's the second sheet on there. Safety, kith, small gods, traits.
There it is. I was just not scrolling correctly. My bad.
It's okay. It happens.
There we go. So Lost and Adventurous. So Geronimo sees something, like hears steps like coming by, correct? That's the last thing you said?
That he was sort of like looking for these steps.
Oh,
Oh, hello. I'm Geronimo.
hold on. I have to set these at the correct angle because they're so tiny. My name is Lawrence.
Oh, hello, Florence. Why are you in the middle of the fog in these ruins?
I am an explorer. I look around everywhere and I document what I can wherever I go.
Oh, okay, so you're not like a castle ghost.
No, I am certain if I were to move on from the mortal plane, then I would become something akin to a ghost. But in this current period of time, I am not a ghost.
Oh, okay. Because last night when we first camped here, I thought I saw like some like a someone on the parapet, but they definitely didn't look like you.
That was definitely not me. I know not what this parapet you speak of is. I have not managed to make it over there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, growing up, I had a bunch of like broken walls with like little arrow holes and parapets that we used to run in and out of as kids with my other people I grew up with. Yeah. Well, Have you found anything interesting?
I am uncertain. This is the direction to the Echo Cave, correct?
I mean, it's a couple days travel upriver, actually.
Hmm. Like puts the glasses more appropriately to their level. This is so hard to try manage without having this fall over. Uh, and like pulls out this book that in their massive elephantine hands, and they're dressed like a wandering scholar with like a bunch of robes, has a pack with a whole bunch of like scrolls and other things in it. There's weird quills that are like specifically designed for their particular hands, and they're just like looking through it. They open up this book and they're looking at it and they're like, perhaps I should have made that left when I reached Albuquerque. Glad that joke landed. It's so funny.
Well, Doctor, no, Florence. I'm not familiar with that town, but definitely I can tell you where we came from. Uh, the Echo Cave is in a port city, so we had to sail a little bit. But and then like Harmo looks around, sees that they are surrounded by ruins and fog, and can't really see where the dewdrop is. It's like, I also don't know where we are right now.
It would appear as though we have landed in a location that is far away from the destination we had originally set out upon our initial investigations and estimations of travel and transportation to arrive at. So, in a word, we are lost.
Oh, please, thank you for explaining that. I don't really have my regular like explaining friend with me, and that you know a lot of big words.
I have become well versed in developing a vocabulary that is most capable of expressing the types of concepts and thoughts that occupy my brain at any given moment. However, that has left no room for a sense of direction.
My head's empty as a cloud. But I get by.
I think at this point you hear what sounds like a muted and slightly broken accordion noise. Not discordant, just a little off key, a little wheezy off in the distance.
That was definitely a
Okay.
ghost, right?
It does either that or my boyfriend. I have not seen him in the longest of times. He does not sing very well, but he sings often, and I grow to love it every time.
That's really nice.
Yes, my ears hurt every day.
And Geronimo, his face is very much like, I want to say something. And then it's just like, is it because, does it, it must be a little bit harder because your ears are kind of like, they seem like they're really good at hearing. And puts his sound like this.
Like, puts the spectacles all the way back up. And, like, looms over, and I how big is Geronimo again, like height-wise? He's a big boy, right?
Yeah, he's like a big boy, but I don't imagine he's like elephant big.
No,
though.
that's why, like, however tall Geronimo is, it's like a good probably like foot or two difference in height. So it's just like one of those like I'm imagining it like this shot of like even the camera and such is like when you have a movie scene and a receptionist like pushes over like the desk and is looking at you directly, but it's that loop with Florence looking over Geronimo. It's like, do you have something against my ears?
No, I was just saying that it's probably easier to hurt them because they're big.
This statement you have made, while potentially tactless and hurtful, I will accept as well-intentioned and good-natured.
Thank you. I'm really sorry. I was trying not to
You-
say it in a rude way, but I was just thinking because my nose is kind of big, and so when I bump it, which I do more than I should, it hurts a lot. And I think that comparatively for people who have smaller noses, if they bump it, it doesn't hurt as bad. I don't know. Or they have like less of a time bumping their noses because they aren't as big. You know?
I want you to always remember something. Never, ever let anyone speak poorly of the way that you look, or your snoot is most wonderful. And like boops it very like gently.
I think Geronimo can't help his tail wagging. And he's just like, oh, thank you. I think your snoot is very wonderful too. But where did that accordion come from?
You hear that now it has changed keys, that slight accordion noise. And added into it is a little bit of maybe flute, maybe piccolo, maybe a little bit of a beat, dun 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 dun, coming from the east. And then
Marching band.
and small, tiny voices like just on the edge of your hearing, where you have to really, both of them would have to strain. The moon is high, the time is nigh. Won't you dance with me? The moon is out, we'll scream and shout. Come and dance with me. The time is nigh, the moon is high. Come and dance with me. The moon is out, we'll scream and shout. Won't you dance with me?
Starts walking towards the music. And I think offers his hand to Florence, like, let's go see. Adventure.
You have spoken the single truth which has guided my path throughout for my entire life. Adventure. And then, like, upon you taking your hand, moves much faster than an elephant has any right moving. Like, it's just very spry, but just likes taking it easy going with the moment that she has something. It's very much like most of the time it's like, yeah, I have minor interest, hyper focus. Flies over.
That's very good.
Perfect.
Just
As you can follow the music, the fog's getting thicker, the shadows are getting a little bit longer. But now it's becoming a little more clear the closer you get. Just sort of little teasing hints of music and an occasional hey, hey, and then it fades out. When you finally come around one corner of the castle that's sort of been sheared away at a diagonal, in the far field in the back, moving through the fog are blurry figures dancing in a circle, throwing their hands up every now and then disappearing back into the fog. And all of the tiny lights start to congregate, moving in and out through the dancers, just giving illuminations of bodies that look like incense smoke before they fade into the darkness again.
Ghosts.
it would appear that the The vestiges of those who have long since departed from the mortal realm have returned once again to participate in an act of revelry and acrobatic enjoyment.
Yeah,
I
they're
am left.
partying.
Yep. I am left in a state where, though torn between wanting to run away screaming at the top of my lungs and also wanting to join them in party, I find myself, in a word, stuck.
I think that's a great place to cut back to other
Yeah.
people.
All right. You ready, Miss Esther?
Always ready, Peanut. Let's go have a look around. But for a while, just to help me, of course, do you mind taking my hand?
Oh, of course. I want you to feel safe, Miss Esther.
Oh, I appreciate that, Peanut. All right. Well, here we go. Let's see. Let's collect Miss Amelia while we're at it. I'm sure she's finished with her conversation. And they leave the dewdrop. Where is Amelia at this point?
I think Amelia just kind of just appears like right behind you because I think the fog's been getting so thick. So the moment you say, "Let's go and collect Miss Amelia," you just kind of like see behind you her head turned all the way around to say hello because I think she's been trying to get a beat on where you are, but she just kind of appears out of the fog, her head 180 degrees turned around and saying, "Oh, hello, Miss Esther."
Ah!
Hello. I
Oh,
I
apologies.
forget you. It's all right. I occasionally forget that you can do that. Well, Geronimo went ahead to scout. I haven't heard any screaming, so I'm assuming everything's going well.
Miss Esther, you have not been around places where the dead haunt, have you?
Not that I like to recall.
I will spend a token and reveal something important about the place that we're in, which is that unless you're traveling with a friend, and unless you eventually participate in the dance, the dead will have you dance for forever.
Well, I can't have that. I need my waiter. Right. Well, then let's go and find him then. And we will head off.
I'll be okay. Miss Esther gave me a magic brooch. See, I can't let you borrow it though,
Of course.
even if you ask really nicely.
Scout, if it's yours for the moment, it's yours for the moment. I'm not going to in any way try and take it from you.
Yeah, I want to loan it to you because I think it would look really pretty on you, but Miss Esther said I can't.
Well,
Where-
Miss Amelia also has lots and lots of small gods to help protect her, and that very powerful walking stick. So I think you'll be perfectly okay with your brooch.
Cool.
All right.
And I got my poking stick.
And you got your poking stick. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Scout here has also been trained in the mighty art of headbutt fighting.
Oh yes, I've been well aware of this for a while.
Oh, well, good. Okay.
I still want to see how good you are at it.
Maybe someday. Well, maybe I'll show off a move or two.
No, I want to see how good Miss Amelia is at it. I've been asking her to try too.
Well, Scout, I'll put it to you this way. Whenever we are out of the fog, I will happily engage in a small bit of headbutting.
Oh, this is the best day ever.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
It's like, Miss Esther, I'm gonna lose my waiter. Folks have been hiding information from me.
So what is
this not-
happening? This is my cart, and I am always the last person to know anything, and that is not how this is supposed to go. Darn it. Should we take a small break?
Yeah, we can take a small break really quick. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. If everyone could please stay with us, we'll have more spooky adventures to see.
Spooky.
Hello, and we're back. Thank you all so much for sticking with us through the break. When we last left, we had heard some about Amelia and her ex. Um, Geronimo had gone in adventuring into the castle to scout ahead and had met a friendly elephant explorer named Florence, and they had come upon the Dance of the Dead, and Miss Esther's scout and Amelia were shortly behind. So I think we open on Miss Esther, Scout, and her and Amelia kind of walking through, and Scout's like, "Do you guys hear music?"
A little. Wait, is it music or is it wait, no, that's not a Was this the dance you were telling us about earlier?
Yes, normally it's not quite as festive. Sometimes it's a little bit more morose, but yes, this does sound something akin to what I've heard about.
Hmm. All right then. Miss Esther takes a long drag from her cigarette, uh, exhaling this strangely purple smoke. She straightens her spine. She doesn't necessarily slouch all that often. She's a little prim and proper. But when her stance changes, it's less of a I'm being prim and womanly and more of a I'm settling into fight mode. Spine lengthens, chest up, chin up, eyes straight ahead as she flicks the ash off away from Scout, because we're not dropping ashes on the baby's head. No. All right. Well then, no time like the present. We go
Right.
further ahead.
Show them our dance moves.
And she keeps her grip on Scout's hand just a little bit tighter as she walks them forward.
I'm glad they're not doing the morose. I don't know that dance.
It's not a very fun one. Very jerky and sad. Just in case, Scout, do you want to call out for Geronimo just in case?
Yeah. Geronimo. Geronimo.
And I think you hear like Geronimo sort of like vibrate back through these ruins and like weird sounds. Like just Scout's voice coming back, but like distorted, different from like the Echo Cave.
Oh no. Geronimo's a ghost.
Hopefully not
It's
yet.
too late.
No. We're not going to jump to any conclusions because then we'll just fall. But Miss Esther is walking just a little bit faster now. Geronimo.
No more. No more. Almost like the ruins are being a little bit like sort of almost teasing like at your seriousness as you walk through them, and the fog almost kicks up around you.
All right. Different
Scout,
tactic. Oh, please go ahead.
Scout, what do you think we should do?
We should I don't maybe if we wait, no, I used to be really bad at mazes and my mom would help me with them. And she was like, you always just keep turning left and eventually you'll find it. So we should just keep going left.
Well, it's a good place to start. And your mother was very smart. So let's keep heading left and maybe it'll lead us toward the music and our Geronimo. Hmm.
I think as you do start doing like left turns, you start hearing like this clapping sound. Almost like someone trying to keep time with the music.
Mm.
And maybe some louder like steps, almost like stomps, but like maybe a little bit like someone crashing around dancing.
I'm imagining like the bossa nova like rhythm happening, but the person keeping the heavy emphasis of that beat is just crashing every single time. Like it sounds almost like every now and then a suit of armor is the one keeping the time going.
Well, at least it sounds like there's a party. Maybe they're happy ghosts. Hmm.
Is that a
No,
thing?
I'm sure there are. I still don't like it, but bravely going forward. And she looks down at Scout and tries to give a very small, placating smile. Um, but there's definitely the start of a growl in the back of her throat. So that was your ex then. Did you have a nice reunion?
Amelia is fine. Me as a player, Angela, is just having a flashback to every moment I've seen a wife being angry at her spouse in every film I've ever heard. It's just like, so did you have a good time? That's all I'm hearing in my head. I just want that to be clear. Amelia's okay. She's just like, it was very nice to see them again. He's a sweetheart, and we left not on bad terms, but it's bittersweet to see each other.
Hmm. Well, at least it was a friendly split. Not everyone can say that. Something in your favor. Hmm.
Is there a particular reason that you want to know why?
Well, because you were incredibly sad when we got here, longing and mournful, and then they
To
popped
which
up.
you teased me about quite playfully, I might add.
Oh, yes, there's nothing to it. Please don't misunderstand. It's more of trying to find a topic of conversation to distract from the apprehension.
I think the ruins around you start to twist your words as they echo. And they say to it, to it, to it, nothing, nothing, like almost like a question hang in the air, like with that little bit of like almost fairy mocking. And lights start to dance along the edge as you get closer to this clapping and stomping.
Miss Esther sort of waves the hand with her cigarette at one of the lights, just sort of shooing it away as she keeps walking forward.
I'd like to think I kind of want to build off of that the little floating light imagery. I'd like to think that every now and then when you see the lights grow close, they've been like little orbs of light, but when you look inside, they look kind of like bits of armor and such has been animated, but every now and then you can actually catch what maybe the real form is, which is a bunch of like these tiny little like pixies kind of playfully mocking whoever used to be here. There's some of them I think who even are wearing small little pots on their heads to kind of mock the way that the folks who must have been in armor, like the full helmet and like with the front plate to go, the face plate to go over it. Some of them are kind of mocking it. They can't obviously wear the full one because, silver and everything else that would hurt them, and the metals. But I like to think there's a few of them going over here.
Yes, no, I just was trying to make conversation. That's all. And it is entirely your business how much you do or do not want to share. But if you did want to share, I would also be an open listening ear to anything that you did want to share, should you want to divulge that sort of information. And she takes another drag.
Just tittering laughter. I think this time it gets really close to Scout's ears. And then it like
she,
fades,
takes
and
her
then
brooch and is like shushing it at them.
So, yes. It's fine, Amelia, don't mind me. I'm a tiny bit persnickety. I don't necessarily enjoy trickster spirits all that much, and I am just slightly on edge because I am unable to keep track of people, and it's a bit much. So I apologize for my sour demeanor. It is not toward you or you either, Scout. And she just cuts herself off and just keeps smoking as she's walking.
It's okay. I like sour food sometimes.
Mm,
Like
they do.
lemonade.
Like lemonade. I suppose sour feelings do have their own place in the world too, don't they, Peanut?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think the lights do like almost like a grumpy little impression of Miss Esther right next to her for just a moment. And then just scatter. If that's okay.
That's yeah, she just literally just snarls at them and snaps until they scatter. Dreaded pixies. They're the pests of the fairy world, in my opinion.
They're often motivated like children, just for whatever is entertaining. And very often, like children, they don't like folks who hide things. They like chaos to be out in the open.
I suppose that's what makes them childlike. Everything needs some order. Not oppressive, but there are rules and orders and times and places for things. Geronimo, I promise you, if I don't see you in the next 30 seconds, young man.
Miss Esther? And I think it comes out from like a lot of different angles. You can't really tell where it's coming from in this fog with the lights and everything as well.
Oh, thank goodness. Where on earth are you?
I'm at the party.
Keep talking. I'm going to follow where your voice is. I hope you're not dancing.
Why wouldn't I dance? It's dance time.
No, it is not dance time. And Miss Esther has picked up Scout and she puts her on her shoulder and she is power walking. Nope. We are not doing that. No, sir. She is power
Geronimo's
walking.
definitely dancing with ghosts, guys. Just letting you know. He is cutting up a rug with these ghosts.
As they come around the corner, Miss Esther just stops and is looking at him.
I think there's this weird effect that's happening that he doesn't see, but I think that you three see. Is that when these wisps pass in front of him and obscure from view, you see this different image of Geronimo wielding a blade, and then like he's dancing and he's himself, and then and Geronimo with a bow, and like a bunch of different possibilities, stuff that you've heard on your journeys of like things people expect him to do, and then who he clearly is, just sort of dancing the dance macabre.
Oh no.
Can I go dance?
No, you may not. No, because
But he looks like he's having fun.
I understand that it looks like he's having fun, but this is not good. We're going to get him out of that. Okay, so will you please stay here? Don't dance. Don't clap along.
But it's such a good
Just
song.
I understand that, Peanut. Just please, I am asking you as nicely as I can to please just stay right
Okay.
here.
Is Miss Esther watching the dance as she's talking to Scout? Or is she focusing on Scout right now?
She was looking at Scout to sort of, she likes to, when she wants to impart something that's important to Scout, she always likes to get eye level and like make eye contact to show that she's serious. I think for anyone who can see it, for the first time in your journey, you see actual panic, not mildly flustered, not annoyed, but just bone deep panic.
And if it's okay, I don't want to invalidate that for your character.
Mm.
But if it's okay, when Miss Esther looks back up to the dance floor, while these other wisps are dancing, Geronimo has come back to the edge of the dance, and I think is kneeling down with them, with Scout and Miss Esther, and it's just like, hello.
Sister was really worried about you.
I saw that. You looked upset.
Yes. Well, I don't want you caught up in this sort of magic forever. There's so much of the world that you haven't seen and so much that you haven't done, and it would be remiss of the promise that I made to you if I were to allow you to get stuck in this sort of situation.
Can I tell you a secret, Miss Esther?
Of course you can, Geronimo. Of course you can.
All right. Amelia Scout, I will also impart on you the secret. I know that there's nothing up here, but there's a lot in here. The ghost can't keep you if you know where your home is. So if you're brave and you remember where your home is, you can dance to your heart's content. And Miss Esther, I always know how to come home. He's got this big, dopey smile. And, his breath is coming a little fast because he was dancing. He was dancing his heart out. And he's just, like tail wagging and looking at Miss Esther with this the biggest, dopiest grin.
She takes his face in her hands. I know, pup, I know you know how to come home. But sometimes people don't.
I know.
Sometimes they don't. And one day you won't. And I don't think I'm ready for that quite yet.
Okay. And I think oh, you okay?
Yes, no, I'm absolutely fine. I'm good.
Gotcha. Just checking
Thank you
in.
for checking.
Yeah. And I think if I think there's like almost as if if we were watching this, right? I think there's almost like an overlay of like Geronimo really small before he got his growth spurt with like a skin knee or something, and Miss Esther sort of like cradling him and comforting him. And I think if it's okay, Geronimo reaches out and like shows how much bigger he's gotten and like gathering up Miss Esther in a nice tight hug. And he's like, it's okay. I'm not going anywhere yet. I'm sorry I scared you.
No, you don't need to apologize. I'm just being a silly old woman.
Silly old woman sounds like she needs more hugs. Amelia
Oh.
Scout, come on, get in here.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you insist, I suppose it would be fine. But she actually does gather both Amelia and Scout into the hug, despite her grumbling. She does pull them in to the hug.
Actually, how does Scout react to that?
I think you can see Scout is kind of sad and has been tuned out for a little bit. But she gladly accepts the hug. Yeah, she gets pulled in and she seems glad to be.
I think Amelia accepts the hug and she says, how about something a little bit better than just a hug? And she taps the walking stick. How about we make this something with a little less mocking involved? And I kind of imagine the little pixies have been trying to like chitter out in the background to still kind of like mock Miss Esther and what have you. And I think I'm spending a token for this. She taps her walking stick and you see, I think you hear something coming from far off in the distance from where the castle was. And it's the sound of just massive dragon wings as there is as sort of appearing through the fog just very slowly and very calmly, despite how big they are, is a dragon of deep grays and silvers, but also all along where the horns and the scales are, there's these vibrant greens. And I think she says, Amelia says hello, and she sort of turns to Miss Esther, and she says, what would you like the most right now to feel at peace? Because I'm spending a token to offer someone the chance to give them a chance to change fundamentally. Because I think Amelia explains there used to be more dragons here. The castle is all that remains of some of their glory. People were very terrible to them and very rude. And so they decided to rest here until the end came. but those who carry on have the power to grant wishes. And everywhere that they rest, the land will eventually bloom again. That's why this place is called Creation's Bloom. Even the end is not an end, it is always a new start. So what would you like your new start to be, Esther? She doesn't say miss.
Oh my. And she takes off her hat and holds it in her hands, her docked ears turning ever so slightly. And she sits for a moment, thinking. And she looks at Scout and she looks at Geronimo. I think what would truly give me peace and lift some of this this heaviness that I hold in my spirit. Knowing that my children will be protected now and always. If I could know that for certain, if they could give me that, just protect the two of them, I think I will be better, and perhaps I won't have to use that as a crutch anymore. Can you do that for me, Amelia? Please.
I think she actually turns to Geronimo and Scout, and she asks them very directly, do you feel like you need to be protected for forever?
No, eventually I'll be old, like Geronimo.
And I think Geronimo, knowing how loaded this question is, looks at Miss Esther and sort of gives the saddest, sweetest smile. Mom, eventually I will be the one protecting you. In fact, I do it often. Maybe not in the smartest of ways. You don't need to protect me. I'm grown, so I will protect myself and show you that everything will be fine. And even when it isn't, the sunny days outweigh the rainy ones. I'll protect my little sister. And I'll follow along with you as long as, we're a family. But you can't protect me forever. You have to let us make mistakes. Goofy mistakes. They bring adventure. and I made a new friend who really likes adventure.
Oh, pup, when did you get so wise?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never been wise a day in my life.
Oh, hush you. You have to.
I got him real good in a headbutt fight.
Scout, you're not
saying smart
Scout.
stuff.
What?
Remember what I taught you, Peanut? Aim for the belly.
Right, and then I think Scout does it right then.
And I think Geronimo like is like betrayed, and then like sort of bends over and is just like, "Oh, that's not a headbutt though. That's a. I mean, I guess it is. Oof. Okay, I didn't start those.
But you continued them. Mm-hmm.
And Scout wanted to be entertained, and then sometimes
It
Scout
was
would
those
pass
ram
out
people
afterwards.
we traveled the road with, and I was like, we could do that.
Yeah, the Billy Goats did it.
The Billy Goats are twice as hard-headed as the both of you. But I suppose as long as you're having fun and you're not breaking anything, I'll allow it. And Esther turns to Amelia and just gives her a long hug. She doesn't say anything. She just gives her as long as a hug as she'll tolerate. And say thank you.
We're gonna be here all night.
Oh, I think not. She keeps the hug going for a bit, and she definitely when she pulls away, there is the faintest bit of, I think it's a mixture of Hieronimo and Scout's kind of enthusiastic energy, but it's like a wink that she does, and she just taps like her walking stick on the ground, and she says, "Now, as for these pixies, because I think even through all this, they've been trying to get around. The dragon that's been here has only partially moved them away. I think there's almost like a ring of swords that get summoned up around the group." And she says, "Now, dears, I'm not one to condone being mean to other folks, but I will just point out to all of you, these ones do happen to have silver in them." And then I kind of imagine all the pixies are just sort of like, "We out."
One of them just
We're
turns
out.
and goes and then scoots away.
Well, that solves that problem. Those were all fake too.
Well, that's wait, Geronimo, you said you had a new friend?
Yeah, Florence. I don't know. Where did Florence go? Oh no, Florence was lost. Did Florence get lost in the ghosts?
I think you hear from really high above in a watchtower, like 25 feet up in the air. It's like, it would appear that while I have wandered through this fog and found myself deeply riveted by the existential questions that it has caused me to pose about my very nature, it would seem that I have found myself in a place that is high above the ground. And regrettably, I am afraid of heights.
Oh no. Oh dear. Well, that's no good. What can we do?
Buddy, we got you. Scout, you can climb, right?
I can climb, yeah.
Yeah, we
good at
gotta go
climbing.
up there. We gotta go up there and save my friend.
Okay.
And you
Is your
see
friend
Miss
a
Esther
ghost?
opening her mouth to go, nobody's climbing, and then she stops.
I can do this. And
Just
I
be
am going.
careful, please, Scout.
I'm gonna know something. I'm gonna know something important about the place you're in and tell the table about it. And Scout will be like, "No, my dad showed me how to climb castle walls like this. You just gotta you look for the stones that look like this." And Scout will like start like looking for the handholds and actually is climbing really well and just kind of scoots up the parapet.
Geronimo, in the meantime, is looking for a regular way up there, like stairs or something.
Yeah. And I think Scout pops up over the edge of the watchtower and is like, "Hi, I'm Scout." Florence up there?
Hello there, small one.
Oh, you're really big. I don't think I can carry you down. Geronimo might be able to. He's really strong.
Is Geronimo your other very tall friend? And tall and strong and kind friend?
I mean, most of my friends are tall and strong and kind, but the really strong one, yeah. Geronimo's my strongest friend, so.
He seems to be that kind of friend.
Yeah.
Before we go down.
I wish you could meet Miss Junie. She's my smartest friend, but she's not feeling well today.
Oh, do you have a friend who is sick? I might know a way to deal with that, and reaches into the pack and brings out a nice little like set of like flowers and such that like grinds them with her own hands, just like, and puts it into a tiny little pouch that essentially it's about the size of a tea bag. If you brew a tea with this, she will be fine in a little bit of time.
I don't know. I tried making her my dad's tea and it didn't fix it, but I'll try this. Anyway, I've got to help you down.
I think at that moment, like this seems like a regular stone floor. Like how the heck did Florence get there? And then Geronimo is like pushes up like a looks like a stone trap door. He's like, "I found it. Hello."
That's Geronimo. Is that the strong one you meant?
That would be them.
Hi, Florence. I'm sorry that you got tricked up here by fog. But I found a way down. It's still very high up though, so you'll have to like close your eyes and let us guide you.
I will take the route which will be most efficient and allow me to confront my fears in a manner that will last but an insignificant amount of time.
Are we gonna jump?
Yes.
I think I got a potion for that. And Geronimo takes out he takes out all of the potions and he looks at them and he's like, I bet one of these do something that'll help us. And how can I roll, Tiff? What do I roll?
Well, it's a D100, so you pick a number between 1 and 100. Let's see what happens.
Hold on, I like rolling dice.
All right.
Let's do this. 10s, 1s, 11.
Ooh.
Not a good sound.
I can't wait. It was a great way to close the episode.
It's actually kind of funny. It says, you feel an overwhelming sense of joy and you start laughing uncontrollably. You are immune to being frightened or charmed for the next 10 minutes.
Geronimo has even less fear than he had before.
This is like,
His
well,
main
that's
trait is brave and deep.
that's true. But that's what came. So sorry, it's not gonna help you down, but at
Okay.
least it'll be fun.
And so I think Geronimo finds a rope. Like he looks around and he's laughing and he's like, oh, why didn't I think of this? Why didn't I think of this? And he finds like a heavy he finds like a heavy rope that's like, it looks rotted, but like he holds onto it and he thinks it has enough power. He's like, all right, here we go. I always like doing this. And he takes a running leap towards the edge of the castle wall with the rope and says, Geronimo!
I believe you make it down to the ground, but not because it was very skilled or the rope was super strong. It just happened to be long enough that it sort of coiled on the ground. So you just sort of go swing, slide, poof, 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 and a little roll and tumble on the grass.
The entire time, just sort of like rolling in the grass and like on his back and just laughing.
From the ground, Miss Esther looks like she is caught between just resigned laughter and a mild heart attack, but you know what? All right, he survived. We're just going to go with it. We're just going to go with it. I will be at peace. Everything will be okay. Everything okay. Scout, please hold on to the rope with both hands. Okay.
And Scout does like grab onto the rope and slide down like a fireman's pole. All right, you got this, Florence.
I shall go about this the most efficient way possible. Just walks right off the edge of the watchtower.
Oh my
Remembers
God.
about halfway to grab onto the rope.
Oh,
But
no.
but like there's big, like if there were a slow-mo, you see the full like was it Zootopia sloth animation realization happen on the elephant's face. You're like, oh yes.
Yeah, the rope.
But
Oh,
I think she makes it down pretty well. Like it's she's a historian and she's mostly a scholar, but she's also a tanky gal. So it's just like,
No biggie.
that was painful, but okay. I screamed internally, but that was about it.
Oh dear.
I think that's a good scene wipe. I think the group sort of decides to head back to the dewdrop.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, Florence is invited if she would like a small nightcap before she heads on her way. She's very welcome because Miss Esther is definitely going to be having a nightcap.
Meanwhile, Geronimo puts on a nightcap of his own.
Aw.
Scout is in PJs and has like a cup of warm milk and is looking around for Geronimo.
Geronimo's easy to find, less mopey now, just sort of, I think he might have snuck away just to check up on maybe like the snoozing Josie and then just sort of, okay, they're okay, good.
Hey, Geronimo, could I ask you a question?
Of course, Scout.
How did you know this was your home?
Oh, because when I close my eyes and I think about a place that stays in one place that's home, I can't find it. And I think for a long time I was scared that I didn't have a home when I was little. But then someone really, really smart told me that people can be your home, even if they move around.
I really want this to be my home, but I still miss my old home sometimes, but it's not there anymore.
And if it's okay, I think Geronimo reaches out to pull like Scout into like up like onto like I imagine him sitting on a log and pulls Scout like to sit right next to him. And he looks down and he's just like, I miss my old home too. But just because we miss things, it doesn't mean we're not respecting them. It doesn't mean that they mean anything less. You can have your old home and miss it, but you can have your new home and love it too, Scout.
Okay. But what if I danced with the ghosts and I didn't think this was my home enough, and then I didn't get to come back?
Well, that's a tough question. I don't think we'll ever know, Scout. But tell me, when you close your eyes and you really think hard about home, what do you think of?
I think about my mom and dad. I miss them a lot.
And let me ask you something. Even though you miss them a lot, if you remember them, aren't they with you?
And I think Scout pulls out the locket that has been around her neck that she's kept kind of tucked away this whole time. And she'll pop it open and show Geronimo the picture of like her and her parents that she's kept hidden there.
Well, look at that. A home hanging right around your neck. If you want, Scout, then you could have time to think about it and everything. But if you want, I would be happy to be at home to you too.
I think Scout will like cuddle into like Geronimo's fur and just like kind of eventually like against her better like against her will end up drifting off to sleep.
And I think Geronimo just looks very cozy into like the campfire that they have running in their thin threadbare cloak that they wrap Scout up in, and just enjoys the way that the smoke rises into the air. And he thinks about his home.
And I think that that is a good place to end the episode before we all cry more. Thank you all so much for watching. We're going to go around and see what everyone has going on. We'll start with you again, Tiff. Tiff, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
Oh, gracious. Hello. You can find my not crying face on Twitter at Ruby Quill. I am going to be continuing this series until the end. And then coming this winter, I will be doing a Call of Cthulhu podcast called Veils. More information about that coming soon.
Victor, where can people find you?
Hi, folks. You can find me and my tear-jerking charm on Twitter, where you have all my updates and everything. If you enjoy like I love going into vulnerable spaces with people and, getting into that like real heart of role playing. If you'd love to like sort of seek out how I do that, I do have an essay up in Splat 3 Touched, which is available on itch.io. And would mean a lot for me for people to read, because I'm all about honesty and vulnerability in games and seeing how they elevate everything. Otherwise, you can see me tomorrow on Friends Who Roll Dice, where we have our penultimate episode of Once More Into the Void. It's funny, I have 2 finales coming up next week. And it's gonna be a blast, guys. So tune in tomorrow at 6 for Once More Into the Void Should Suns Rise, it's so good. It's so good, y'all.
All right. Anna, where can people find you?
Hello there, lovelies. It's been a pleasure to be playing our owl lady, giving not so subtle, happy catharsis to Esther of this occasion. You can find my game designs over at Voice of the Phoenix on itch.io. You can find my poetry on Philosophem. You can see me Thursdays on Girls Run These World for the Dark Rights and Other Forms of Exploitation series, in which I'm playing a much sadder individual who's also starting to open up about a lot of queer feelings she's having towards someone else in the party. And I am conveniently also with Tiff on Veils as well. So you'll probably be hearing from us more on some fun details. And a character whose name I'll happily give already is Alicia Wisowski. So enjoy that little tidbit. And also, if you want to see an example of my hyperfixation that will soon be coming out, probably I think in December is when it got moved back, the Final Fantasy XIV community zine that I'm a part of called Final Arcana, that is poetry and artworks built around and inspired by FF14 characters and the major Arcana suites and the minor Arcana suites, will be getting around on Twitter and other places at that point in time. So you can catch my work there.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie Putum from Charm Person Games. We're a professional game master service out of Baltimore, Maryland, but we run games digitally. We'll run games for your parties, corporate events, bat mitzvahs, or funerals. Currently, my business partner, Stephanie, is having a 40% off sale on any game you book with her. This is a fantastic time to book. I'm also the author of a little game called Sapphic Space Pirates. It's an excellent game. It's also a diceless, GM-less game. It is available on itch.io for $5. You can also find that link at charmpersongames.com. Also, on September 10th on Girls Run These World, you can see me on the preview of Waterdeep Anatomy, a medical drama taking place in a Dungeons and Dragons world. It's going to be very fun. So save that in your calendars, and I'll also be on that little Veils thing. But yeah. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for the finale of Tales from the Dewdrop. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night.
Night, y'all.